I'm Jacqueline Johnson.
And I'm Marina Middleton.
And this is Work Party, a podcast that's part work and part party. Work Party celebrates a new generation of women who are redefining the meaning of work on their own terms and having fun while doing it.
In this podcast, we are diving into all the areas of being a working woman: mind, body, and business. No topic is off limit.
Real talk and hot takes. Think of us as your internet work wives. This is Work Party,
the podcast.
Wait, where's the champagne? The global skincare market is worth over $180 billion. And most brands out there are telling you to do more. More steps, more products, more of your time, more of your money. My guest today built a brand that said the opposite, backed it with Nobel Prize winning science, and then had the kind of year that makes you want to take notes. Jade Beglin and Sabrina Sadeh are the co-founders of 4am, a circadian rhythm skincare brand that just quadrupled sales. Close to $4 million seed round from Kavu, launched in 1,745 Target stores, graduated Sephora Accelerate. They landed on Forbes 30 Under 30 in 2025, and Sabrina is doing all of this while finishing her medical degree and a dermatology research fellowship at Georgetown. Jade, Sabrina, welcome to Work Party.
Thank you.
We have some amazing overachievers on our hands.
Well, it's so crazy because I graduated medical school 2 days ago.
Oh my God, congratulations! That's so exciting.
Doctor Sabse.
Wow, incredible. And a founder all at the same time. I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
So, but Jade, I'll start with you. Wall Street, brutal hours, going out in New York, watching your skin deteriorate over time. And then Sabrina, melasma as a kid, a skincare obsession, and you followed it straight to medical school. So at what point did these two frustrations kind of come together to start a business, Jade?
Yeah, I think we were best friends from college. We went to Georgetown together. I was 2 years above her in school. And so she was still in school, undergrad, then she had a lot more schooling.
All the school.
She was my skincare junkie. It's funny that I have a skincare brand now because I was not the skincare junkie. I was the opposite. I just needed to do it out of necessity, not because I loved skincare. And so Sabrina was always my friend I would go to, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I don't really care. And especially when I was working my first job, I had a paycheck for the first time. And so just asked her, okay, just tell me what to do. I'll do it. She came to me with what I'm sure was an incredible routine if I was actually going to keep up with it.
And it's funny too, because I feel like when we first had this conversation, it was pre-COVID and not that many people knew really what serums even were. There was this huge explosion of skincare knowledge, I think, during the pandemic and after. So I literally was like, here's a vitamin C serum, here's how you stack them, and no one really knew. But like Jade said, it was too complicated for her to put in her work bag from a Berry's Bootcamp workout, running to her trading floor.
Yeah. And so that was the kernel of the idea when we just realized that, and she herself, despite being a skincare junkie, she was very busy as well.
Right.
And felt like there was so many times where we just didn't feel like there were any brands speaking to us when it came to, hey, we want to celebrate the fact that you're too busy to do a 12-step routine in the bathroom. There were kind of drugstore minimal brands or very clinical brands, but it never felt like a celebration that you were not doing a super complicated routine. And that's what we wanted to build with 4am.
And it really felt too that to be a good skincare user, you had to do all these superfluous things too, like drink green juice, do Pilates. Now, granted, love a Pilates class, but didn't feel like that had to be me all the time. And it felt very performative when it came to skincare. So we wanted to create a brand and a story that said, hey, if you're out until 4 a.m. drinking and partying with your friends, you can still have a skincare routine that keeps up with your life instead of you having to keep up with your skincare routine.
Yeah, I love that so much. And it's so true. I think what COVID brought to light, at least for me, was I was one, I definitely am not using enough product. And two, I'm definitely not doing it in the right order. Yeah. And I still, if I'm being honest, I still don't understand it. And I'm very confused by it. So I do think this was such a needed thing for the busy woman. So your first brand moments, you weren't doing press events or pop-up, it was a club, 4am, this idea. So tell us a little bit about that idea and how it paid off.
Yeah, so I remember this was, throughout the first 2-3 years of the business, we still had full-time jobs. She was in med school, which is a full-time job, obviously.
Yes.
Yes. And so, but I remember we wanted to still have this big buzzy event, and I had spoken to friends who had been in the industry, and they talked about how important it was, like if you wanted to get press, especially as a newer brand, to have an event to go to rather than like try and pitch them over email, et cetera, and really actually get to talk to editors and stuff like that. And we also, this was in 2021 at the time. It's like crazy how long we've been doing this, and that's a whole nother story. But back, like we were kind of coming out of COVID finally, and people were going back to in-person events. And I felt like the timing of that was really special because I feel like events now are a little bit oversaturated, but at the time we wanted to feel like a brand that no one else felt like. So let's have it be nightlife, clubby, not like a wellness retreat vibe.
And we collaborated with Patron. And so
Yeah.
for an alcohol,
Amazing.
for a
Yeah.
skincare brand to be collaborating with an alcohol brand on a party, we were like, this is for sure going to be written about. Like, we're going against the grain. And it's when everyone's social calendars are getting filled up because everyone's just, the pandemic was basically starting to be over at this point.
Yeah.
And people's social calendar were busier than ever. And we just wanted to make a splash in the middle of all of that.
Yeah, and so that got us covered in Vogue for our launch, which was
Incredible.
crazy. And it's funny because we knew nothing about like doing a press event or anything. I remember going through just like people who I followed or followed me back on Instagram, and it was like truly anyone with any, like there was zero. I wish I could say it was like a highly curated
Spray and
event.
pray,
I
yeah.
was like, anyone I know with any sort of following, please come. Yeah. And it worked out.
That's amazing. And so do you feel like events are something that you're going to continue to do in like that IRL piece?
Completely. Yes. I do think as well over the course of then the brand, we realized that there was success to this first event, that then we started collaborating with various brands. Like we collaborated with Kendall Jenner's alcohol brand 818 to do this series of like late nights, early mornings parties where, you could drink a straight shot of tequila, but then wake up with your good skin because you have 4 a.m. And it became really central to the ethos of the brand of we're not going to do a fluffy like yoga class in the morning. We're going to have a banger of a party and it's going to be fun. And we don't care if you're taking the perfect content while you're there. It's not even that it had to be posted online. It was, we wanted to throw a good party and for people to have a good time because that was really central and core to the brand. And I feel like
it's actually funny because we try and not have it be so content forward for events, which is kind of counterintuitive to what most people think about events. Like I actually sometimes we don't want, it depends on the event, but try actually not to do it to make it so Instagrammable, because what I prefer is for you to then get one to meet us at the event, for you to get the product and for us to be able to like actually have a moment and have like talk to you one-on-one, and then for you to post about the product later on. And so I really think of events as a relationship building.
Yeah.
At scale, right? Because you can meet so many different people, and that network has really followed us throughout the brand. And I think especially like once we've started blowing up this year in terms of new product and just everything that's happened with the business, it's really been like so much of the press we've gotten has been people who I've known for a while now, and I sent them a DM and be like, hey, this is happening. Like you might want to cover it. You might want to talk about it. And like that was really what enabled a lot of this more like recent momentum.
So many contrarian bets is what I'm kind of hearing. It's like the skincare. Like this isn't for like the yoga lover, the green juice, drinker, the events that aren't Instagrammable. So where does that come from? Like how do you guys think about it? Because they can be risky. I mean, they've obviously paid off, but like it can be a risky bet.
I think we're just so confident in that it's a white space and that we also are building it for ourselves.
Yeah.
The entire brand is Jade and my own aesthetic.
Yeah.
And so people always ask us like, who's your design agency? Who's your social agency? And I'm like, it's us. Who designed your packaging? I'm like, it's us on Canva.
Yeah.
It truly and really is from our authentic selves and what we felt like wasn't there. When we would walk down a drugstore aisle, an Ulta aisle, Sephora aisle, Target aisle, we never saw ourselves in
especially in skin.
Maybe in makeup, maybe there was...
you see Tom Ford is very that like sexy beauty brand, but you hadn't really seen it in skin.
There was nothing that made you feel like bold and sexy while also taking care of yourself and being a little bit messy. I think now there has become like the Brad Summer, Alex Earls of the world that celebrate this messiness. But really when we came out with the brand in 2021, there wasn't any of this.
It was all about that girl. And it was like I remember just distinctly this aesthetic during COVID of like slick back bun, gold here. I remember like the Olaplex bonding oil like at the time. And it was like all these like that girl aesthetic routines.
Like the vanilla girls of the world. And it just didn't feel like us. And so I think the reason why we felt so strongly about it was because we weren't trying to think, oh, what aesthetic would work.
Yeah.
It was, we believe in this and this is who we are.
And you are the customer at the end of the
Exactly.
day. So that makes a ton of sense. So you mentioned early on, like, we've been doing this for a long time, which I really appreciate, because I think obviously given the amount of press you've had recently and obviously the momentum, everyone's always like, wow, overnight success.
Exactly.
But it's actually been going on. So when did you actually start the company? Or like the idea?
Yeah, so we started like the idea talking about it in 2020.
Yeah.
And then we actually launched for sale in 2020, like mid 2021. And we started off like just with 2 serums, very simple, morning and night circadian rhythm technology that really enhances basically making sure that you have the right ingredients at the right time.
Makes me so proud when she talks about the product.
Yes, you like pointed at her, but you said the
I'm
thing.
like, oh, my skincare junkie now. We've transformed her.
Yeah. Then like a year and a half later, we launched under eye mask, and then last July we launched Clean Sheets, which has truly become our like new hero product. And
they're all with the same ethos where, like Jade mentioned, the serums were 2 all-in-one serums that felt like a multivitamin for your skin was really how we would talk about it. Then our under eye masks, they're reusable, but they are meant to work with our night serum. So it makes the night serum into an under eye treatment. And then our Clean Sheets, which is our most recent product there. I have them in my pocket actually.
Perfect.
I always have them. I'm like product demo.
I swear they're like my business card now. I always have samples, and anytime someone's like, what do you do? Well, funny you ask.
That's the beauty of a product business.
But they're individually wrapped facial wipes that have your entire skincare routine in a wipe. So it's both cleansing and hydrating all in one step. And it comes back to the ethos of 4am, which is do less with your skincare while still being able to do as much as a normal skincare routine. And wipes are truly the most convenient form factor. But when you say a long time, it took us a long time to get here because the supply chain and manufacturing of the wipes, it's so fragmented. They're so hard to actually make. We went through dozens of manufacturers, finally found a sheet mask manufacturer that was willing to
take a bet on us.
Exactly, take a bet on us. And it's worked out, which is great. I'm gonna knock on some wood if we have some later. But yeah, it was truly and really always the product that we wanted to launch at the beginning of the brand too. But because we were bootstrapped, smaller brand, coming at it at our first time, it took us years to develop these, and we didn't stop until we made it.
Yeah, I love it. So, okay, I want to talk about the circadian rhythm. So the science underpinning the whole brand actually won a Nobel Prize in 2017, specifically for discovering how circadian rhythms regulate every organ in the body, including the skin. So this is very academic, which makes sense. So talk to us a little bit about this. I think circadian rhythm has kind of become like this buzzword too in the industry where people are finally like paying attention to it and saying, how does this affect every single thing from like your sleep to your skin?
Yeah, totally. And this was really the foundation for our serums because so many people had asked me, hey, Sabs, what should I use in the morning? What should I use in the night? How do I layer things, vice versa? And then when I was speaking to various cosmetic chemists and dermatologists about skin and what really you should be doing to support your natural skin functioning, a lot of people that I talked to in the research, especially on the cosmetic side of things, said, your skin has its own natural sleep-wake cycles when it does DNA repair, when your pores or your cells actually like shrink up so that, when it's daytime, you're not getting pollution to go into your skin cells. And just throughout the day, it's doing so many various functions. But when those things get thrown off by various sleep schedules, jet lag, even looking at your phone for too long because it's artificial blue light, that functioning can get thrown off, not only in the time of when you're doing your natural functioning, but in terms of how much you're doing. So at night, you're not getting that full DNA repair, and so you get accelerated skin aging and things like that. So when we were choosing the ingredients to go into the morning and the night serum, we really made sure that it was what was going to support your natural skin functioning at the time. And then we chose an ingredient as well called Lesdeba capitata. It's a bizarre name. But
gorgeous. It sounded beautiful off the tongue.
But it's actually a circadian rhythm modulator for your skin. And so it helps to bring your circadian rhythm back into its normal rhythm. It's actually a extract from a Korean plant, and it has its own open and closing cycles of the flower. And so then it goes and modulates that in your skin. It's won clinical trials off of Nobel Prize research. And so we were one of the really first people to, I think, amplify that technology. And people, when they come back, they might not know the science behind the serums, but I have people tell me all the time, like,
on the serums.
The serums have changed my life, blah, blah, blah. And our ethos with that was, let's support your natural skin rhythms and functioning rather than stripping your barrier and then trying to add in all these things. It was really about what's your skin doing at its natural way, and how can we get it back to its natural functioning and then support those rhythms. And so even all the way from the product lineup, but even how we're thinking about the science, it's all about minimalism.
So the science is amazing. I love brands that are now really innovating on both ingredient and obviously like science-backed technology. However, when you're walking down an aisle in Target and you see a box, how do you explain all of that to a customer? Like, how do you differentiate on the aisles?
Yeah, it's really funny because Clean Sheets are what recently launched at Target, and we did do a change in the packaging and making sure that this is going to be clear to someone who's heard of us, but also who has never heard of us before.
Totally.
Funnily enough, our package for Clean Sheets at Target, like the main thing is actually your entire skincare routine in a wipe. That is a sentence that is it's bigger than Clean Sheets, which is the name of the product. It is in the middle of the pack. And so I think it's really about getting the main use cases across. And then also really, we've found that our customer cares a little bit less about the ingredients, but cares about whether it works or not.
Yeah.
And so that's been the great thing about Clean Sheets ever since they've launched, is we really saw that the product, one, when you're removing makeup, like it's so visual. It's really hard to find things that are visual online, especially in skin. Like so many times I'm like, wow, I wish we had a makeup brand, because you can like be like, oh, here's my foundation transition. But we actually can still do that with Clean Sheets, which I think has helped with the virality of it.
I also think people, they understand it from one time.
And they can understand it one time of saying, okay, my skin, like most makeup wipes on the market, like most people have sworn off wipes, and this was a big focus of ours of like, we're taking a SKU that most people have demonized. A lot of people have sworn off of. You try and get influencers to talk about makeup wipes, they're like, I would never let that touch my skin. And so a lot of our marketing around Clean Sheets was, and it is true, is that we did not look at any other wipe on the market when we were building Clean Sheets. What we looked at were micellar waters we liked, serums we liked, and just putting that into a wipe, not trying to be like, oh, I like this wipe, but it needs to like a little extra ingredients. No, one of the biggest reasons why they're individually wrapped is so that it's one of the biggest issues that dermatologists have with wipes is when they're dry, they tug at your skin. That's the big issue, and why. And so each one, the reason why it's individually wrapped is so that each one can be super soaked. In the big packs,
oh wow,
yeah, it's quick points.
The visual, QVC, here you
go. Exactly. Our manufacturer, every time we were like, it needs more liquid, and she was like,
why?
Are you sure? Like, we
broke the machine.
We broke the machine. So I guess we learned when we were getting initial samples, those were hand crimped. Like, there's a machine, but they like, it's not the big mass machine
where they're like,
where it's like cutting it up. So we were like, we agreed on an amount of formula in there, and we were like, all right, send it to production. And then in the big machine, all of them were popping because there was so much liquid in them. So we had to like change how they were folded and do it like a tiny bit less, and like basically at the maximum that this
could sustain
itself.
But truly and really, I believe, to come back to the original question, is that our community loves that it works, but maybe not why, but because we care so much.
Yeah.
And I think you can feel it from my science background and Jade's product background of really wanting to create the best wipe there is. Then that's what fuels people to rebuy and love it and share and word of mouth. So there is this trust in, I think, us that we can create a great product, but we might not necessarily have the people who are like, I want to know exactly
the flower.
why.
Yeah. Okay, but Clean Sheets sold out 4 times on TikTok Shop and hit number 4 in cleansers on the platform. And the facial wipes market is $2.5 billion category, which I was shocked about. I was
Isn't
like,
it
that's
crazy?
Nuts. So I think that's super exciting. And I will say, like, You know who does care about ingredients is venture capitalists
Yeah.
and potential acquirers,
Yeah.
you know, frankly. So I think it's like having these unique ingredients, science-backed technology. If you're starting a skincare brand, which is frankly one of the most crowded market, you have to have differentiation. So talk to me a little bit. You just closed a $4 million round with Kavu. Incredible. Tell us a little bit about the pitch that went into that and maybe some things you learned along the way.
Yeah, 100%. And
I feel like it almost wasn't a pitch, which is funny.
yeah, I think it was, so funnily enough, we didn't actually run. I had always had this image of like us running like a very specific like fundraising process, etc. And I think Diana Cohen from Crown Affair, I've heard her say this advice, and I think a lot of people have given this advice of like, ask for advice, you'll get money, ask for money, you'll get advice. And that definitely was the case for us. So when Clean Sheets was blowing up, Target, actually, two of their buyers separately, not knowing that the other one had reached out, DM'd me on TikTok being like, hey, have you ever considered Target? And at this time, like, Clean Sheets was blowing up in a way that I knew it would be a hero product, but I didn't know the extent to which it would be. So
yeah, I think we were still building out a holistic skincare brand that was going to be multi-product, and then over time we were like okay, this is the winner.
Clean Sheets is selling. Like and so when this like wipe was our hero product, we had a lot of questions of like what would the best retailer for us and distribution strategy be. And when Target came to us, like our first meeting, they were like, how does nationwide sound? And this had never been something we had like
so
really
at that
thought
point,
about.
how much money had you raised?
Nothing.
Okay.
Like we had like basically $80,000 over the course of 3 years from like $5,000 to $15,000 checks.
From
and so
like various founders that we had met that
exactly.
were like, I believe in you too and want to support you and give back to being like
the founder angel check community is where it's at.
Exactly.
They're so
100%.
amazing.
And so I had and so
terrifying, but exciting.
Terrifying,
like how do we pull this off?
It's so funny because in the meeting they were like, how many doors do you guys want? And we were like, I don't know, like maybe coastal, New York, LA, Miami. And they were like, how about nationwide? And we looked at each other. I remember sending her a text being like, did I
just say that?
Hear that correctly? Do I need to check the AI note taker?
Yes.
To make sure?
Oh my gosh.
And we said to ourselves, well, this is going to be a huge undertaking. We're probably actually going to have to now raise money for
and
it.
so we wanted to, before we even like thought, like committed to the Target thing, we wanted to make sure that we would be able to raise money.
It off.
Because there's no way for us to pull it off without additional capital. And so it came out of those conversations. We basically asked investors who we had prior relationships with, but who had always been like,
also founders who were at various stages to us, were already in retail.
Basically, we're thinking about this. Do you think this would be a good idea? And also, do you think we'd be able to raise money off of for this? Because if we can't raise money for it, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And one of those people that we asked was an investor at Kavu. And for us, we both were like, well, they're mostly in food and
totally.
They do have some great. They have some great.
Poppy Necessaire.
Yeah, they
have great beauty
brands as well. It's
later stage.
Later stage, where I believe their earliest investment since Poppy.
Wow.
They don't do seed stage. And so it was going for advice. And then kind of things led to another. And I think the real pitch for us as well was once Clean Sheets launched it, I think it was, we had a pretty clear vision afterwards of like, okay, I think the same way that Touchland took this sort of like Purell, like
drugstore,
not like sexy thing and turned it into, hey, sleek.
Yeah.
You want it in your bag. It says something about you, and the product is actually better. Like I would much prefer to use a Touchland hand sanitizer than other things that were previously on the market. And so when we had that vision of like, okay, that's what we're doing to the wipe market. It's huge. The TAM is there, and we have product market fit. Our retention is amazing. People come back over and over again. Getting distribution makes sense for us at this time. Because I do know that when we say nationwide distribution, really like fast, it's something that people get really scared about. And I also think there's plenty of moments where that doesn't make sense. Like if we had gotten this call a year prior, And even if we had been able to raise money for it, I think it would have been a disaster. And so now that we have a clear vision of like who our customers, what our hero product is, I think of us much more similar to like a Groons than I do to like a Rode, that's our path now. And like that's of really owning this form factor, owning
Daily
this
use,
SKU with daily use, highly replenishable. So
I love that. Okay, so to double click on a few things. One is like timing is everything, it sounds like. Two is, going into retail and getting a nationwide order from Target, to your point, like dream.
Yeah.
However, it's very expensive on the product side, but also what I think a lot of people don't realize is like once you're in a store, they basically determine your reorder based on how quickly your product's selling, and they call that velocity, which is expensive. That means you have to start marketing about Target almost more than you have to market direct to consumer.
Exactly.
So how are you guys approaching that strategy?
Yeah, so the one fun thing that we launched as a decision as part of the launch in Target is we started doing these. Historically, our clean sheets came in 25 packs. On top of that, we launched a 5-pack mini. So it is $5. It's in their mini bins, and it's very much a trial sample size. So I think that has been very good for us because it's allowing a low entry point for someone who's walking into Target, and it's low commitment. And we know from our retention numbers that they will come back, and I'm not afraid of that. And then I think secondly, TikTok has been a huge lever for us. And I mean, obviously it's why Target reached out. They literally DM'd us on TikTok. But I think what we've seen from other brands, and this is what the Target buyers truly told us. They were like, the best brands that are doing the best there are the ones that are doing really well on social. And so really we've done a lot of like affiliate marketing, and then also as part of, we'll see, we're like 2 weeks in. It's
we're testing.
We're testing. So we'll see what's working.
Everyone go to Target.
Everyone go to Target. We're doing this, so you guys go to Target.
Exactly.
But I think it's truly that, and the decision for Target was clean sheets itself and the brand itself. It's about convenience.
Yeah.
And we've had so many people that are like, thank you so much for launching in Target. I pick them up on my weekly runs, or like I do this like drive up and they bring it to my car. And so really what we wanted to do was meet the customers where they are. And so we felt like it was a natural fit. And in a way, we're kind of hoping that that's how it's working. At Target, there's another portfolio brand of Kavu's called Saws, and I spoke to the founder, and he was like, we're just different on shelf, and that's really why it's worked.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could do the same amount of marketing on social media as just literally being a different product on shelf and people liking it. And I think that's really what we're hoping to do too, is to stand out on shelf and really translate that visually.
Yeah.
So Target buyers sliding into your TikTok DMs is iconic.
Yeah.
You have hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok. How are you leveraging your own personal platforms to enhance the brand? Obviously, we're living in like a build in public, founder forward facing world.
Yeah. So I have it's funny because I had private socials before starting the brand. It was really because I think so many people don't realize we've been around for so long because it's been a grind, but people are like, oh, influencer founded brand. And she'd had a following before we started the brand, but it was really out of forcefulness of like, okay, I was like, I need to figure out this TikTok thing. This is where a lot of brands are going up. And it was just a lot of posting. But what I've seen is people love to follow a story, a personal story, especially on TikTok we found. And like so many people think especially of TikTok, like native things, of it has to be like super colorful or super cheap or super kitschy. And there's there's something to that, but I also think like our top performing kind of content on TikTok has always been, this is the story of how a med student and her chronically sleep deprived Wall Street friend like made a makeup wipe that doesn't suck. And like that messaging of people really getting, it's helpful that the brand and the product is so authentic to our story. So it's a really easy story to tell, and being able to tell that online has been really great. And then you also don't even realize, again, who is watching your content. Even though some of my content doesn't do the best, it's so interesting. I think TikTok is special in this way of like, there can be a video that has 3,000 views, but the right people will watch it. Of like, even like anytime I need help with something, I'll low key, I won't even, it's not necessarily that I'll say like, I need help with this. I'll be like, I'll mention it. And I think 9 times out of 10, someone
It's
reaches
worked.
out who is helpful. Like I remember we had an issue with like our TikTok shop connection with our Shopify. I made a video about it. I think it got 1,000 views. Like it was a flop, but someone from TikTok called my personal cell phone number the next day. I was like, how did you get this? And I guess it's like connected to my TikTok account.
Yeah.
And they fixed it. Like I was like, okay.
Gotta love the internet.
Yeah.
Just ask the universe for
Ask
it
the
and it will
universe.
Yes,
come,
it'll
right?
provide. Amazing. So let's talk about co-founder dynamics, and then I have some rapid fire questions for you guys.
Great.
So I love building with like partners, co-founders. I obviously built Create and Cultivate on my own, which was like a lot. So talk about your dynamics, who owns what parts of the business, and what's the secret sauce to a happy founder relationship?
Yeah, it's so funny. Someone actually asked us this yesterday too, and we always get this question, but especially as best friends building
Totally.
a company. But I think for us, what's so special that I almost don't think you get with finding a co-founder maybe later in life or that was a random work person is that we genuinely believe that the other person is like a genius.
Yeah.
And like and I trust Jade so much with so much.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to like growth and just building the operational like entire rocket ship of 4 a.m. now. I'm like, I don't want to even touch this. Like, please, like you are the expert, do it. If you have something that you want to bounce ideas off of me with, come to me. Most high level decisions we'll make together, obviously, but she has her zone of genius and then I have mine. And so I work more on like how the world of 4 a.m. looks like, brand. I mean, we do product together, but but it's still separate sides of product. Like Jade is a packaging.
I think of the
love.
packaging
Aesthetic.
and like the messaging behind like what, like how we message the product for sales. You think of it of like how like the beautiful like brand that comes together, and as well as like the science and the actual ingredients that go inside the product. Like I'm like, okay, we need the wipes to be credit card size so it fits in your wallet, and like that'll be a differentiator. Like she's like, okay, here are the ingredients that we actually want inside
For your
of
skin.
it for your skin.
And so with everything, it's so natural. It almost feels like I know that this is Jade's strength and Jade knows that this is my strength. And so there's never really a butt heads thing. And two, what we've learned is that we will disagree on things. Like that's not like a question.
That's good.
But when we do, I'm like, truly and really explain to me why you think this. And by the way, many times she's convinced me and I've been like, oh yeah, I wasn't seeing it this way and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so I think that is where some co-founders are like, it's my ego against yours.
Of course.
Yeah.
And what we've realized is me, Jade, 4 a.m. are one thing that's just trying
Your
to
success
sail
is
off
your
into the
success.
sunset.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're just truly and really trying to build this beautiful brand together that it becomes something that everyone knows about in the world. And the Jade way to do that is to respect each other deeply and know that we both have our sides. And
100%.
if it
I
comes
also
to
think
disagreements-
another tip too is when it comes to disagreements as well, is to like never have it be that it gets to a point where you're like holding a grudge or annoyed. Like sometimes I'll even come to Sabrina of like, I could feel that this might start to annoy me. So like,
call it out.
Call it out early before it becomes like a bigger issue, you know?
Fully agree. Okay, rapid fire. The hardest part about raising money.
I think you think that you have a reason to raise money earlier than you do. And learning that, I think, is...
Yeah, like I thank God all the time. I don't really believe in that much stuff, but I thank the universe that we didn't raise money earlier, even though at the time I was like, oh my God, like I saw all these people raise money, felt earlier stage. If I had raised $1 million like 3 years earlier or 2 years earlier, I would have spent it doing the complete wrong stuff. Like I would have been like, oh, how do I get our serums to like do this? And it was like really like it was, and I love our serums. There's no shade to them, but like what I can put the fuel on the fire to accelerate is so much easier.
You
You
learn
know?
so much along the way, especially when you're bootstrapping. Your dream collaboration.
I would love to do something with Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
I think she's a 4 a.m. girly.
She's the perfect 4 a.m. girly.
Yeah.
I would
we
say-
got actually a friend of ours, I won't say the name publicly, but we got a friend of ours who's a big artist, and someone on their band was like, you're on our rider.
Yeah.
You're in there.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, we're one step closer.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
Oh God,
yeah.
Not on
amazing.
Charlie XCX's rider, but someone else's
someone else's rider.
Yeah.
Oh my
Who,
God,
like, is
amazing.
as famous, and I was like, hello?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. I know. How do we get you in every green room? Okay. The last thing you splurged on.
I feel like last night I was at a charity gala and I like donated like there was like an auction thing. I didn't win any of the auction stuff, but I did $1,000 just to donate because everyone at my table was like going, and I was like, oh, I guess I gotta donate.
Oh my God,
like,
what was it? Good for you, charity? That's impressive, girl. Get it.
Last thing I splurged on. I mean, this is quite boring, but I paid off my medical school loans.
Oh,
so.
I mean, that's not boring.
My degree.
That's important.
Cha-ching.
Get it. Okay, a founder you admire.
I really she actually now angel invested into 4am in our most recent round, but it's a friend of mine, Michelle Hugh. She's the founder of Etoile, and she's fully bootstrapped, owns the business, and it's like a vanity case brand, and she does create, I think she's like one of the top sellers on Revolve.
Amazing.
She's launching in a bunch of retail soon, and she does it like, I think she only recently hired her first full-time employee.
Love that.
And I think she, like, as much as the raise has gotten like a lot of press for us, I'm like, oh, like these bootstrap founders who kill it. And like, I would say without that, I think is so impressive. And she also like, she invested into, I remember when she moved from Australia to the US to grow the US side of the business. And I remember her telling me like, we're really investing in brand. Like I don't want to compete on price with all these, like there's so many vanity cases that exist and like toiletry bags, etc. And hers are like more expensive. And she was like, I'm going to invest in the brand. Like she bought, they used to be etoilecollective.com. Now it's etoile.com. Like she bought, it was like 6-figure investment to like do that, really like up-leveling all of their creative. And that is like so counterintuitive to me. I'm like a paid ads girl. I'm a like growth hacky. And I did not see the vision. And now it's like Nara Smith is posting them. Like, and they've really like
posted them.
Yeah. They've really like done it. So I love when people have a vision to like, I'm going to do this and it's going to work. And even if I don't like, I told her, I was like, I don't think I told her at the time, but I think afterwards I was like, I didn't think you could do it, and you did it. It's like really
I love that.
impressive.
See, I am more of that brain. Like, so Create and Cultivate was bootstrapped, and I've always been like brand. And then I'm like, paid ads, what? But now I'm getting the world, and I understand it. But
yeah, a founder I admire is Kevin Lee from Imi Ramen. He was our first angel check. He gave us our first $5,000.
Love.
Yeah.
And throughout the entirety of the brand, he's always been a text away with the most amazing advice. When I tell you, I almost am like, Kevin, you're like my dad. Like, I love you.
Yeah.
So important.
He has just been so kind to us, and he gives back so much, I think, to the founder community. And without, I think, his advice, we would have steered many different directions. And it's so funny. I don't even think he knows this. This is embarrassing of me, but I like have sent Jade many of his tweets about like what he's done for his wife and like various things like that. Yeah. And like just so motivating, but in such a, I don't even know, like just empowerment way, but not in like a cringe empowerment way. So
for sure. It's an expander. I love that.
Kevin, shout out to you.
Shout out to Kevin. Well, thank you guys so much. Tell everyone where they can check out 4am.
Yeah. 4amskin.com or at your local Target.
Go to Target.
Go to Target.
Thanks, ladies. Thanks for listening to this episode of Work Party. If you like what you heard, follow, leave a review, rate the pod, or slide into our DMs.
Check out the different ways you can create and cultivate on our website, createcultivate.com. From retreats and masterminds to our summits and festival.
We have different experiences to support you through your entrepreneurial journey from launch
to legacy.
Follow us at Create Cultivate on all platforms, and don't forget, work hard.
Party on.
Please note that this episode may contain paid endorsements and advertisements for products and services. Individuals on the show may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to in this episode.